Before I get started with the video, I just want to thank you all so much for the love that you guys showed that last video that I made. I really wasn't expecting it to pop off the way that it did, and it really means a lot to me. So shout out to everyone who's watched it. Now, onto the video. So lately I've been spending a lot of time playing the SNES games on the Switch for the first time, and one of those games is Star Fox 2. And while playing it for a while, I had a thought concerning the Star Fox franchise. Since unlike Pokemon, Super Mario Bros, and Fire Emblem, there aren't a million of them. And now I'm sure part of the problem is that they haven't diverted very much from the originals, aside from 2 of the games, which, to be fair, is very difficult given the genre of the game that it is. But given the success of the recently released game, Star Wars Squadron, I'm pretty sure that Nintendo could take a note from a few of the things that Star Wars had brought to the table and implement that into a new Star Fox entry. And I'm pretty confident that they will, considering that Fox and Falco are staple characters of the Super Smash Bros. Games. Which, those games in themselves are just a huge cross-promotion for all of their titles. And I mean, Melee wouldn't be Melee without Fox or Falco. So I'm sure a lot of Smash players would end up having a look at a new title, especially if they made another in the style of the Star Fox Adventures game. And even if they made it more like the main series games, I'm sure they still probably would give it a look. Which is exactly what this video is going to focus on. If they continued with the style that 90% of those games are, I feel like a great way to make this franchise feel fresh again is to add some of these concepts that I've thought of. A first one being adding a lot more difficulty to the game and maybe change the way that we do things, similarly to how Breath of the Wild changed everything for the Zelda franchise. So I personally feel like adding a mode where you're locked into first person for once would add an amount of difficulty that would make it easier for immersion and also make things a lot more interesting for multiplayer matches. Which, in my experience of playing games that include aircraft, being in first person for a dogfight is always an exhilarating experience, whether it be in the Battlefield games or in the new Star Wars game. And speaking of multiplayer, from what I understand, the only multiplayer that's been added so far is the co-op that is in Star Fox Zero. So maybe adding an actual online PvP to these games would be a great start to give it a chance to compete with some of the other games, especially since it would be the first Switch title to offer this kind of experience. And now, given that this game's campaign is covering an entire galaxy and that the Switch's hardware is most likely nowhere near as good as the Xbox or PlayStation's, so open world probably wouldn't be its best option, purely just because I don't want our Switches to explode, but I do feel like it would be a very interesting idea. I mean, at the very least, they could give us explorable areas on every planet that is a massive enough size for aircraft to be comparable to the Breath of the Wild map, and on top of that, maybe even add areas that we can discover that hold Easter eggs for whoever may be a longtime fan of this franchise. And also they can add areas that can hide upgrades and customizational options for the ships and the tanks. Which now brings me to my final suggestion, customizable ships. Now, Team Star Fox has 3 different styles of ships, or R-Wings, at least in Star Fox 2. So, bringing them back so that there would be more than just one would be a good place to start. And now with that being said, these are the different R-Wings. One that is all around good for everything, another one that is pretty much a glass cannon, and finally the one that is tanky. So my thought process is, what if they had them all pretty much be the exact same stats, and you have to unlock upgrades to do whatever you wanted to the ship stat-wise, or cosmetically. Or even if they kept the basis of those ships, what if they just added the ability to improve things in general? I feel like adding any and or all of these features into a new Star Fox game would make people way more interested in picking up a copy, in my personal opinion. I feel like this franchise is severely underrated, despite it being an extremely niche game in my opinion. But then again, this is also coming from somebody that isn't really a Star Fox fan. And if you happen to be, leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of my ideas. And now if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I just want to let you guys know that I appreciate all of the support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.